What really gets my dick hard is
So fucking what?
Metallica!
Welcome to Melbourne Podcast. I'm Ethan Luck.
I'm Clint Wells.
And it's time for another Revisited.
It's only been about 6 years.
It's been a while. It's been 6 or 7 years, I think. Our last one, if you've been paying attention, was about us remembering Chris Cornell, which was with our friend Paul Moak. And it's been a while, so we were kind of planning out some future episodes, and we're like, it's time for another Revisited. So, this week in Metallica history, we have the very first time they played the MTV VMA Awards, which we just watched again right before we recorded this, just to kind of refresh our memories. I remember this as a kid. I guess I was 91, so I was in junior high. And I remember watching this being blown away. Like, holy shit, this is this new band I discovered. I heard Justice, I bought Puppets, the Black Album came out. And here's my new favorite band on what I still consider a new network. I think it was about 10 years old at that point.
83 was the
83 was the inaugural year. So less than 10 years old, and I'm watching one of my new favorite bands on the VMAs, alongside a lot of artists that aren't really necessarily cool, or but definitely more pop. You know,
You weren't blown away by Arsenio Hall's multicolored jacket?
he had the coolest jacket back then.
It's like he's wearing the jacket that should be in a museum for what 1991 fashion was.
Totally.
It's like a jacket that's like kind of green, but it has all these patches and colors.
Yeah,
and
it's
it's all very bright and loud.
It's very loud. Now, there's I've actually gotten to this with my wife before, where she looks at the 90s like grunge, like dirty flannels, all this stuff. And for instance, my freshman year photo, which was that would have been 1992. I had a mullet still.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't believe you had a mullet still. And I was like, no. There was so much fashion and trends that carried over from the 80s into probably 94.
Yeah, I was going to say early 90s kind of are still the 80s in terms of fashion.
They were. A lot of people don't, I think, recognize that.
Or remember.
Exactly. But Arsenio Hall is a prime example from the VMAs in 91.
Well, because here's the deal. When you're hosting the VMAs in 1991, here's what he did that night before he got into his limo or whatever.
Yeah.
When he's in his house. He put all that shit on and looked in a mirror and goes, I look like the coolest motherfucker on the planet.
I look like a guy that's going to host the damn VMAs.
He definitely didn't go, I look like a guy that people will parody and make fun of forever.
Totally.
This will be dated in about 6.5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Forever.
Yeah. But for me personally, I was at the age where this impacted me heavily. I watched the performance. I recorded it on my parents' VHS. I rewatched it so many times because I thought it was the coolest thing. How big Lars's drum kit was, like the band was aggressive. They just didn't give a fuck. And this is only 3 weeks after the Black Album came out.
Right.
So it was all new and exciting.
And you can tell in the performance, they're real hot on the song.
They're really hot on the song.
Pretty excited about the song.
And as we all know, that Enter Sandman is the most played Metallica song ever.
Right.
So at this point, they've probably played it maybe a dozen times. Maybe they played it before the record came out on tour or something, but it's very new to them.
It's interesting to see them play it in a way that's real excitable and exciting. Whereas, we just saw them, you and I, both separately and then together on the World Wired tour. They're ending with it. It's their biggest song. It's all these years later, and they perform it with energy and passion.
Of course,
but to see them play it in 1991 for the first time on broadcast television,
right? Yeah,
there's a fire in that performance that
Totally.
we probably won't see again for that song.
Oh,
because it was just so new.
Yeah, and if those listening haven't seen this performance, just get on YouTube and you can easily search for it. 1991 VMAs. I mean, from the get-go, I mean, Newsted's doing the windmill. Like, they're all just fired up. He's wearing, I think it's the Sad But True t-shirt, as he did. We always wore Metallica shirts. But, like, I mean, they're all just fired up. It's awesome.
Yeah, and they look good, too. Like, unlike Arsenio's loudest jacket in the world vibe, they're all wearing their kind of typical black.
Yeah.
It ages well, their look,
Oh, it totally does. I mean, that's the thing, and like watching that, you notice is that like Hetfield's wearing like a black tank top, black jeans, playing a black ESP
on
Explorer,
black on black.
All the black, none more black.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's get into a couple facts about the VMAs this year.
All right.
This year. In 91. I'm talking about this year, meaning 91. It's 1991, guys. I'm in 8th grade.
Let's take a little trip back to a little time I like to call 1991.
All right, we're going back to Southern California. Ethan Luck is attending Los Lisos Junior High, and he's watching the VMAs.
All right.
So what happened? This is September 5th, 1991. It was filmed at Universal Amphitheater in Los Angeles, hosted by, who we talked about, Arsenio Hall in his loud-ass jacket. Mm-hmm. A couple other little tidbits about this year's VMAs was Pee Wee Herman opened the show kind of like as an intro to the show. Now, if you know about this or you watched it, this was his first appearance after he got arrested for lewd conduct, basically jacking off in a movie theater.
I've heard someone say jacking off in so long.
If I could get vulgar for a second. I'm sorry, masturbating in an adult theater.
Jacking off.
Come on, it's Pee Wee Herman. I love Pee Wee Herman. He's awesome. But so he comes out, the show opens, he walks out on stage, the crowd goes crazy, like, oh my gosh, it's Pee Wee Herman. I remember watching this because I remember hearing about that news that he was busted in an adult theater.
I remember jacking off while watching this.
That's crazy. Wow.
I was 8 years old.
You just want to find an excuse to say jacking off.
Yeah, I didn't know it was actually part of acceptable vernacular anymore. Now that you've broken the seal on that, I'm just ready to talk about jacking off forever.
To me, it's the funniest way to say it. It's the funniest way.
I could probably think of a few funnier things.
All right, fair enough. Like what?
Whacking off for one.
Well, it rhymes, so it's fun. Anyway, so Pee Wee comes out, crowd goes crazy, and he gets up to the mic and says, I can't do a Pee Wee very well, but he says, heard any good jokes lately?
Yeah, which is a pretty good joke.
Heard any good jokes lately?
Can you do a Pee Wee?
No.
You sure?
Never tried. That was Ethan, by the way. For those of you who can't see us.
That was Clint. So yeah, Pee Wee comes out.
Dottie!
I'm trying to use the phone.
You know what? I
can't
can
do
do
it.
a Pee Wee Herman, but it's this one. Check this out.
Do it.
Paging Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman, there's a telephone call for you in the lobby.
Well, you got the quote wrong. You have a telephone call at the front desk.
All right, but that was Pee Wee Herman.
Yes,
Playing
that was
the-
very true.
All right, I got one more.
All right, go.
I'm a rebel, Dottie.
You got it wrong again.
Fuck!
I'm a loner, Dottie.
A loner.
A rebel.
I'm a loner, Dottie, not a rebel.
It's a great movie.
Well, obviously, you've seen it a few times.
You know those do not remove tags on mattresses? Yeah, well, I got angry and I cut one of them off. That wasn't Pee Wee Herman. That was the other guy. Anyway, so Pee Wee opened the show. That's a fun fact. It was a big deal at the time because he had a huge show in the 80s, in the 90s.
Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Pee Wee's Playhouse, yeah, it was great. Another little fun fact, Poison, our beloved Poison, came out.
Someone's beloved Poison.
Someone's beloved Poison. They came out and played Talk Dirty to Me. And CeCe DeVille, let's be honest, all their performance was terrible. But
It sucks.
It sucked, but CeCe's was the worst. At one point, his guitar cable came unplugged, and Brett looks over at him. He's like, what did he say? He's like, come on. It was bad. It was really bad. It was so bad, according to Bret Michaels, that they got in a fist fight backstage, and CeCe was fired. And that's when Richie Kotzen came in and played guitar for Poison.
It is good to hear that even in the decadent 90s, because the performance, he's obviously super fucked up.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
he's running around. He's occasionally landing solos, but it's all muscle memory because he's gone. He's not there. In fact, it would be even clinically safe to say that Bret Michaels did not get into a fight with CC DeVille that night. He got into a fight with a demon.
He did, yeah.
Who uses his body as an avatar. But it's nice to know that you can get fired for playing poorly. At that time, the VMAs were huge, dude.
Huge.
So I don't know if CC. I don't know. Thankfully, I don't know a lot about Poison, but I don't know if he is an alcoholic, if he's drug-addled, or if he was just anxious about the big night. He drank a little too much.
I think all of the above, especially with alcohol and substances.
But he sucked.
He sucked. It was bad. And outside of like the leads in that song, it's like 3-chord power chord rock. It's not hard.
It's real hard to go down, down.
He pretty much does that
with his wall of crate amplifiers.
Yeah, he had about 12 crate 412s on stage.
And he had that chorus pedal on fleek, as the kids say.
Yes, he did. It was a terrible guitar tone, terrible performance. So
and I would even say it's a shit song. I'm not into it.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about before, it's like a fun party song, but that doesn't mean it's good. It's just it's Poison. I mean, Poison to me is like a kind of a frat party band. They're fun, but that doesn't mean they're good. I mean, like I think CC is a good guitar player. Like if you take the drugs and alcohol away back then, the dude can play, but it doesn't mean like they're making these amazing timeless songs. They're timeless in the fact that like, you know, Pour Some Sugar on Me is timeless, or
no, Pour Some Sugar on Me is timeless. Talk Dirty to Me is time full.
I mean, I would say timeless as in, I mean, what's another cheesy kind of shit? I'm blanking right now, but basically, in my opinion, I'm not going to sit there and listen to Poison records. However,
you're going to watch Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse and listen to Poison records
and jack off.
I couldn't even name a Poison record.
Open up and say, ah.
Oh, there you go.
Look what the cat dragged in, Flesh and Blood. I didn't go through a phase.
I hope everyone at home is taking notes. This is why he did it before we even started rolling. He was defending the song. Like, man, it's a good song. It's a fun song. It's a party. I'm like, I've never partied to that song.
I'm just trying to turn this into a Poison podcast. So let's move on. We got, and this is up your eye. This next fact.
All right.
This was the last appearance in public of Eric Carr of Kiss.
Oh, man.
Before he passed away, and it was 2 days before he went into the hospital.
Wait, did they do a song? What did they do?
No. He was just there. I researched this for, no joke, about 2 hours today because I couldn't find, like, on whether it was Wikipedia or anything I could find online.
That would have been the revenge record for Kiss.
Yeah, there was nothing about Kiss performing.
He was just there hanging.
I think him and the band were just there as attendees. And then I finally came across some random Kiss message board. I couldn't even tell you what the website was. But somebody finally said, oh, here's the photo of him with a couple like models or something.
How's he looking?
He actually looked pretty good.
So for those of you who don't know, Eric Carr was the second drummer for Kiss. He very famously / infamously, depending on how you look at this, replaced Peter Criss in 1980. Yep. And the story is that he was actually homeless living in New York. And Paul Stanley's limo came to a stoplight, and he was washing the window on the limo.
Oh, so he was like a squeegee kid.
Oh yeah,
as we called him.
Yeah. And Paul and they were Peter had been fired, or Peter had left. It's all this drama around that time, 79, 80. And Paul asked this dude. Paul started talking to him. He said he was a drummer, and they specifically wanted to get someone who wasn't famous. Because at this time, Kiss was huge.
If you're living in New York and you're homeless and you're washing windows at a street corner, you're probably not famous.
I'm gonna guess.
I'm willing to guess.
Yeah. Depending on
someone write in and tell us if we're wrong.
Depending on your drug habits.
Yeah.
And so Eric got the gig. Eric was beloved by Kiss fans because he was so sweet. He was kind of the Jason Newsted of Kiss.
Totally, I get that.
I would say. And then he tragically, at a very young age, in 91, passed away from cancer.
Yeah, he had a cancer in the heart, right?
I don't know. I'm going to let people down. I don't know the details, but so it is notable. This was his last public appearance.
Yeah. And
that's me sad.
It's very sad. Yeah, he was just there as an attendee. He took some photos and hung out. 2 days later, he's in the hospital, and then he died 2 months later, November, I believe. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, so that's kind of the last. That's just like some notable facts of this night. So the performers, I gotta read this list real quick because
it's contextual. It's interesting to hear what Metallica was up against here.
exactly. So Metallica's there, like we talked about, playing Enter Sandman, very aggressive, very excited, a little sloppy at points, but not to fault. They're out there fucking playing their new single.
Yeah.
And I will have it known that the Black Album came out, I think, about 3 weeks before this VMA aired. So the performers were Van Halen playing Pound Cake with The Drill. We know that song.
Yeah.
CNC Music Factory doing some shit. Poison, Talk Dirty to Me.
Things That Make You Go Hum, which, by the way, that song would be on the list of things that make me go,
Yeah, I think so. By the way, when I made these notes for us, I put Things That Make You Go and a medley of multiple songs, because there literally was a list of 4 songs they compiled together, and most
CNC Music Factory songs?
Yeah, I'd never even heard of them.
Good God. Another thing that makes me go,
Exactly. Poison, Talk Dirty to Me. Mariah Carey, Emotions.
Pretty good.
Pretty good, but
Yeah.
very pop. EMF, Unbelievable, live from the Town and Country Club in London.
Good grief.
So doing like a live via satellite
Was it
thing.
Electric Music Factory? Is that what that is?
I think so, yeah. Paula Abdul doing Vibeology. Don't know that song.
Nope.
Queensryche, Silent Lucidity.
Now that's cool.
Kind of cool.
Silent Lucidity.
Hush now, don't you cry.
Silent Lucidity is pretty cool, man.
It's kind of cool. I learned
Was
how
that 91? I thought that was earlier than 91.
I mean, the song might have come out the year before, but they played it on the 91 VMAs.
you know, right now we have listeners that are like massive Queensryche cats, and they're like,
Operation Mindcrime, bro. Hush now, don't you cry. LL Cool J, Mama Said Knock You Out.
cool, very cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Metallica, Enter Sandman, Don Henley, The Heart of the Matter.
Now this is one of my favorite songs of all time. I swear to God.
Really?
Oh my God, have you not hip to this shit?
No, I know the song, but it being one of your favorite songs of all time does not. I mean, that surprises me.
Dude, I'm learning to live without you now, but I miss you sometimes. The more I know, the less I understand. All the things I thought I figured out, I got to try to learn again. That's not even the chorus. I'm getting back to the heart of the matter, but my will gets weak and my thoughts seem to scatter, but I think it's about forgiveness, even if you don't love me anymore.
Wow.
Dude, the heart of the matter is I'm a songwriter, dude. I would kill to write that song.
Hey, hush now, don't you cry.
I'm a loner, Dottie.
A rebel. And then the last two, Guns N' Roses, Live and Let Die, live from Wembley Stadium. Now, I remember this watching this show live. First of all, thinking like, how the hell are they doing this? How is Guns N' Roses in London playing on the VMA? Like, I didn't understand
Like a simulcast or like...
Yeah, I didn't understand what live via satellite meant.
Right.
But I thought it was...
What is a satellite?
What is this? What is via?
What's via?
I just didn't understand it. And then finally, Prince and the New Power Generation played Get Off.
I wonder what that song's about. Whacking off or jacking? Which one?
I can't even hold a straight face and talk about this. So there you go. Those are the performers of the 91 VMAs. So that's what Metallica was up against. There's nothing else in there to me. There's good stuff in there.
Yeah.
LL Cool J, Van Halen.
But nothing on par with what they were bringing to the table.
Nothing on par by any...
So they were primed to kind of light that shit up.
To me, they came out and most people were probably like, holy fuck, what is this?
Because at that time, 91, they were off the Damaged Justice tour.
Yeah.
Height of their live game.
Yep.
They just made their most soon to be critically acclaimed record with one of their most powerful songs ever.
Yes.
So they were ready to fucking burn that shit down.
Oh yeah, they were totally ready to do that. And this was the first time they performed on the VMAs. 2 years prior, they played on the Grammys, played one. Mm-hmm. But this is like new thing for them. This is them playing on like prime time television. MTV was gigantic back then.
Oh, huge. I mean, for our younger listeners, you have no idea how big MTV was from like 85 to 95.
I mean, even if you were, aware of MTV in like the late 90s, it already sucked then.
Yes, it did.
It did. I mean, it like
with the advent of Backstreet Boys and Korn.
Yeah, this was still the era of MTV where there might have been a couple like quote unquote reality shows. Like the Real World started in 92.
The first few seasons of original Real World were pretty good, though.
Oh, they were good. Yeah, totally. True story. Anybody? No. But this was still an era where like it was really about music.
For sure. Or it seemed to be. I mean, maybe we look back on it with rose-colored glasses. Maybe
but
we're nostalgic. I can't. I don't know.
I mean, I watched it enough where I feel like the early '90s, especially with like you know these VMAs, Nirvana, that whole Seattle sound coming out and taking over and kind of killing.
What was the thing where celebrities played baseball? Remember that? Rock and Jock.
Rock and Jock.
Remember that?
Yeah, totally.
Like that was like a holiday at my house. It was
remember
like
MTV Sports with Dan Cortez?
Oh, I remember. Dude,
yeah.
You remember Yo MTV Raps?
Of course I do. Ed Lover.
Fucking Headbangers Ball, Alternative
Ricky
Nation.
Rackman, dude.
Remember
course.
from like midnight
dude,
to
Headbangers Ball was like, that was the reason I got into Metallica.
Dude, Matt Pinfield was like Jesus to me.
Matt Pinfield originally did 120 minutes.
120 minutes.
Yeah.
But he knew everything about everything.
Yeah.
Pre-internet.
Oh yeah. No, he was an encyclopedia. He actually, 98% sure he's got a podcast. I'm pretty sure he lives
I can
in.
confirm that last 2% he does.
Okay, I'm pretty sure. I think he's based out of Ohio.
Guess what Matt Pinfield was doing a lot of between 88 and 95?
Things that make you go,
Whacking off.
Silent lucidity.
Because where did he get all that time to learn about rock music?
We should get Matt Pinfield on this show.
All right, Matt, listen.
I know you're listening.
Text me later.
Yeah, text us later.
But when you get done whacking off, you pervert.
Well, now he's not going to come on the show. Or will he come on the show? This is getting dirty. Jeez. So yeah, this era of MTV is prime for Metallica to show up and play Enter Sandman.
Well, isn't it funny how timing really is almost as important as the ability to make a great thing? Mm-hmm. Like they came on the scene, Kill 'Em All, sort of pioneered thrash music. Ride the Lightning, massive, kind of wrote their biggest classics.
Yeah.
Puppets, they make the greatest thrash record of all time.
Of course.
Justice, they keep upping it up. But it wasn't, MTV and culture weren't ready for the big Metallica push until they had made their most commercial album.
Totally. Well, prior to the Black Album, when they did Justice, like, I did see the one video on MTV, but it was at like,
and it was huge for them. They played it at night.
It was at midnight on Headbangers Ball,
and it wasn't on the radio.
No,
but
it might have been on local radio in California or something like.
But for them to have Enter Sandman at the peak of MTV, where you guys got to understand, at this time, if you got a video on MTV, it would break your entire career.
Yeah, back then it would. If like
it was
here
that
in
powerful.
2017, if MTV said we're going to play your video at 4 a.m,
who gives a shit?
It wouldn't matter. You're still going to play for 5 people down at the local
Here's
club.
what guys like me are banking on is that Teen Mom 3 will play a snippet of a song I wrote so I can get some licensing.
Yep, totally. I had a little clip of a song I wrote on the season finale recap of Jersey Shore. No big deal.
MBD.
Hush now, don't you cry.
That's no Enter Sandman in '91 on the VMAs. That's for sure.
Definitely not. So I mean, I remember watching this. Like I said, I taped it. I mean, I was obsessed with this performance because this is pre-internet. I had to rewatch that to see any live Metallica performance. You know, and it was exciting to me. Like I would come home from school and like rewatch that tape and be like, God, they look so cool.
Well, because this is pre the release of Binge and Purge.
Yeah.
So there wasn't. I don't think we had seen a lot of this kind of thing. It was a real
I didn't
treat.
personally. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a treat.
Totally. And a lot of times when you're seeing live performances on MTV or VH1, it was a treat.
For sure.
It was like, oh my gosh, like, because I was still too young. Like this was around that era of that Guns Metallica tour. I was too young to go. I wanted to. I had friends that went, but like my parents just weren't having it.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what the live Metallica experience was, and then I see this, and I was like, oh my God, like, and that's not even their show. They're just playing on a TV show. But like, to me, it was like this life-changing moment. Like, I mean, I'd already been obsessed with the band and gotten into them, but this was like seeing them live on TV was like, dude, this is it. This is the band I'm going to love forever.
Well, and it was interesting too because the way they looked, the way they were dressed, James's Wizard of Oz, Cowardly Lion vibe he was rocking at the time.
Oh yeah, it's badass still.
It imprinted itself on me to where that's almost Black Album era Metallica because of VMAs, because of Enter Sandman Video, are sort of my first image of them.
Yeah.
Even all these years later, when I think of Metallica.
Totally. Yeah.
The Jerry Curl Kirk, Windmill, pre-Skrillex. So what do you call that cut where you cut the
Hey, I did it in junior high. We just called it shaved sides.
shaved side?
But Jason did shaved all the way around, had the rest long on top, so it covered the sides. When you did the windmill, though, you could see.
yeah.
When you tied it in a ponytail, he's the reason I shaved the sides of my head. Now, when I was in junior high and I did it, I didn't know any better. I wasn't actually shaving at that point in my face.
Using Nair? Were you nairing it?
Oh no. I one night I was supposed to go to sleep. I stayed up. I snuck downstairs, grabbed my dad's razor, went into my room and grabbed like a little mirror my sister had, and sat there and just took a razor to the side of my head. No shaving cream, no like cut it short first, and just started hacking at it. I didn't know. I had no idea what to do.
That's probably what Jason did.
So my 8th grade, if I can find it, I will post it on our Instagram.
All right.
My 8th grade photo, it's just like this stupid wave kind of hairdo, but on the sides it looks like I'm like there's something missing, and it's because I had shaved the sides of my head.
You know what's funny about you saying that? Because you're basically saying I did this thing because Metallica did it, right?
I did, yes. I did because Jason Newsted did it.
And you were a kid, right? Like, so that's what you do.
Yeah, I was in 8th grade, and I had no business doing it because my hair was not that long at all.
About 3 weeks ago, solely because James Hetfield does this, I started wearing a bandana in my back pocket when I play on stage.
Anytime I wear jeans, there's a bandana in my back pocket. Have you not noticed that? Did you not look at my ass?
I mean, I am whacking
I did it in
off.
Detroit.
I don't know if I did notice that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about me.
Oh, it's all about you now.
Yeah.
I thought it was all about Metallica, but that's fine.
But I do it just because James Hetfield. My wife goes like, "What's up with that?" And I had to say to her, because I don't lie to my wife. I had to say, I'm doing it because James Hetfield does it. And I think it looks cool.
So basically,
I'm
we're both
33 years old.
in 8th grade.
God.
I'm almost 39, and
But do you do it because James does it? The bandana part?
Originally when I first started doing that was probably in high school, and it was because I got into punk rock music and I saw guys doing it. A lot of like punk rock, rockabilly,
Which is
kind
probably
of
why
bands.
James does it, honestly. He
Probably.
Lemmy did it or something, and that's why James
Something,
did it.
yeah. But yeah, that's still
He's
the
not
reason.
using the bandana to like wipe his snotty nose or something.
No,
It's
it looks cool.
Pure affectation.
Totally. So again, this is the first time they performed the VMAs. They only did it 2 other times in '96, where they played Until It Sleeps,
Hell yeah.
and in 2003, where they did this really awkward kind of medley of other hit songs of the. I think it was like a 20-year anniversary. Yeah, 03 would have been. So they did like Seven Nation Army by White Stripes. They did Are You Gonna Go My Way by Lenny Kravitz. It was kind of weird. And
I'm shaking my head no.
That's the performance where I talked about in our previous episode of Lars wearing Adidas pants. You know that they just were in the middle of making Saint Anger, and they're like, "Oh, let's go do this thing," and it was just
Play a
weird.
fucking White Stripes
It was
song.
weird. James had a trucker hat on during it. He didn't sing. There's no vocals.
That's so
It's all
weird.
instrumental. Look it
God,
up.
That's so weird.
You all look it up. But yeah, so they weren't nominated at the '91 VMAs because the Black Album, like I said, had come out 3 weeks prior. However, the next year,
So were they just asked to play because the song had already kind of taken off?
I think they already become this huge band because of Black. I mean, the Black Album went gigantic in the first
Right.
fucking day.
Right.
So they were like, maybe it was booked before, I don't know, but I'm sure that MTV was like, we have to have that band.
Yeah.
They're blowing up.
That's cool. I imagine the other performers, maybe not Prince, because Prince doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Or didn't. R.I.P. But I imagine Bret Michaels and CeCe DeVille watching Metallica play Enter Sandman, which we just watched, all that swagger, the power of that song.
Yeah.
And just shitting their glam.
They're like, oh, fuck.
Shitting their tight leather pants.
And Cece was like, I dyed my hair pink. How
Is that
about
how
that?
Is that how he talks?
Yeah, he talks like this. He's kind of like a New York kind of guy.
Okay.
He's ish, you know. You're looking at me like right now like I'm a big Poison fan.
You are a big Poison fan.
That's
That's been settled.
Listen,
there's no question.
Listen, before I got into actual heavy metal,
6 weeks ago, yes. We know.
Hush now, don't you cry. Yeah, but before I got into Metallica and Megadeth and that stuff, I the first like not CD, the first like cassette I ever like had in my hand was like Bon Jovi.
Well, Bon Jovi's legit. Bon
But
Jovi
that
kicks
led
ass.
me to Poison and like Cinderella and all these bands. I didn't know any better, dude. I was like,
I knew something was up when you
dude,
were,
this was like
you were defending Talk Dirty to me, like,
No, listen.
in earnest. I was like, what?
listen to me, okay? This was like 5th grade when this happened.
Okay.
You can't blame a little 5th grader. That's so mean.
I'm not blaming you.
You already did. You call me a Poison fan.
I am a fan of things that would shock our listeners. Poison's not one of them.
There is a special place in my heart for that band.
Yeah, you're a fan.
Okay, fine. Now, I do own "Open Up and Say Ah," the record with "Every Rose Has Its Thorn." I own it on vinyl. The last time I
God.
listened to it, hang on. The last time I listened to it, I can't tell you because I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I own it, and I own the uncensored cover because there's 2 versions.
See, when's your Poison podcast booting up?
That's about all I know. There's no Poison podcast coming.
All right.
So, anyways, back to the.
Here's the deal. Chances of Metallica ever being on the VMAs again, 0. 0.0.
The VMAs just
0%.
happened this week, again in 2017.
I find it unwatchable. I didn't even.
Oh,
watch
it's
it.
very. I haven't watched it in probably at least 5 or 6 years. I just saw a mutual friend on Facebook or something was like, you know, you're old when you watch the VMAs and you don't know one performer.
Did you really not know anyone?
I didn't even look at the list. I just saw that and I was like, yeah, I believe it. I fully believe it.
Oh, that was the status update. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd imagine the only person on there that like someone you can write in if you really feel like it, that performed that I might know is like Katy Perry or
Taylor Swift or Beyonce or something.
somebody. Yeah.
Probably Rihanna.
I
don't know.
checked out on the VMAs a long time ago.
I mean, maybe we're old, maybe we're nostalgic. I don't know, but in my opinion, from where I sit in this fucking corner of the universe, which right now is in Ethan's studio,
It's true.
we need some Metallica in these things. It's medicine that we're missing, that we need. We need that power. We need the honesty. We need the lack of tracks, backing tracks.
But we've got a band like Metallica showing up to the 2017 Grammys.
Well, and getting kind of shit on.
Oh, they got shit on
First of
because
all,
there's Lady Gaga.
They didn't get introduced. They got introduced as Lady Gaga.
That's true.
And the goddamn microphone's not working.
Right.
They got no
exactly.
love, you know?
Exactly. But you know what?
It is true, though. They did play the Grammy. That was cool. But it was kind of a shit show.
It was a shit show, but when you finally got to see the actual performance with the mics working, it was fucking badass.
If
And
you
we
wanna-
talked about that on a previous revisit.
Was it our first Revisited that we talked
That
about
was,
the Grammys?
I believe our first one, yeah. It was good.
Well, they're great.
Yes.
Metallica's great.
Yes. And if you guys are listening and have not seen the 91 VMAs,
You should check it out. It's good. It's invigorating.
there's a couple moments that are like slightly sloppy, but you got to understand, like we talked about, they're the moment in time. Those dudes are so fucking excited. They just released their new record. It is a departure from everything they've done. It's doing well. And they're playing one of the biggest, TV performances they can play.
And Ethan and I can both tell you, although Ethan's already bragged about he's done the Tonight Show before. I haven't done the Tonight Show.
No big deal.
But I have done TV. Ethan's done TV. You can be as confident in the world. You can have the best song in the world. You can have a great band. You can be in a great moment. There's no getting around nerves and
Yep.
those things that come along with you're on television. The stakes are really high. You only get one shot to really do it well.
Right.
And that they're
this
not
was their
immune to that.
second like major TV performance ever.
And it doesn't matter that they've been on stages all over the world, and they did Monsters of Rock, and they did the Moscow
So have we,
shit.
but the second the cameras are
Right.
rolling, you're like, oh fuck. And when there's a stage manager going 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes,
Right.
go, and you're like, oh shit. What do I? What, oh, we're
And
doing
you
our
didn't
Sandman.
really get a proper sound check, and you're sharing a deck with 100 other artists.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And plus, a little bit of PP was coming out of old James Hetfield's PP, knowing that Prince is in the room, probably watching him.
I think he was more nervous about CNC Music Factory.
Oh my God, everybody dance now? That's James's favorite song from 91.
Everybody dance, yeah.
Oh wait, was that CNC Music Factory?
That
was that
that
things
was
that make
them.
you go oom?
Both of them.
Oom? No, Electric Music Factory was one of those.
Electric Music Factory?
EMF.
EMF. No,
that's your unbelievable.
They did You're Unbelievable.
Who did Everybody Dance now?
CNC Music Factory. I'm trying to tell you this.
Sorry,
Listen, bro, I'm older than you. I know.
We got Poison. We got CNC Music Factory. What else did we not know about old Ethan Luck over here?
Solidity.
All right, yeah.
But again, go watch this Metallica performance. It's really good.
We're revisiting it. We're checking it out.
We are. This
You
is
should
a
too.
great moment in Metallica history because this was a monumental performance for them. Think about it. Their record came out 3 weeks prior. You have Metallica fans buying the record. Enter Sandman's on the radio. It's probably doing well.
I love the setup here.
Well, wait for it. Jeez. So Metallica fans are buying the record, as they should. The record's on the radio. The video's on MTV.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, you have this whole new audience that watches the VMAs.
Oh, and they're going, holy shit, what is this?
Yeah, and all of a sudden they see this. I've heard that song. Oh, fuck, that's those guys in all black doing the windmill haircut and the shaved sides and the sick tank top Hetfield's wearing. And then all of a sudden, it's just another platform for them to just keep.
Well, they made
exploding.
fans for life. I mean,
of course.
And kids like me were part of that. I mean, I came online with Enter Sandman. So
Right, exactly.
whole generations of people. When we went and saw this stadium tour, many of those people were there because of shit like that.
Yeah,
because
totally.
they watched the VMAs.
Yep, exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, what more can you say about this performance? I mean, it was fucking awesome, and it was a monumental time in their history, I think.
I think we fucking said it all. I think we literally said all of it.
I think we literally did.
Literally.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Go find us on all the shit.
And email us at metalpodcastshow@gmail.com. And my last parting words are, hush now, don't you cry. Really? Did I ever do it?
Probably.
Because you laughed earlier. And now you're
What's
not.
the next lyric?
Something about Sweet Lullaby.
It makes me think of the Pink Floyd song Mother. Hush now, baby,
Mother.
baby. No.
Oh, Dancing.
No.
Sorry.
Hush now, baby, baby, don't you cry. Mama's gonna make... You know the song Mother from Pink Floyd?
Yeah.
Basically the same fucking thing. Everything's the same thing.
Everything's the same thing, especially if it's Pink Floyd
Mother
and
by
Queensryche.
Danzig, Mother by Pink Floyd, Silent Lucidity by Queensryche, Dyer's Eve by Metallica.
Exactly. Hush now, don't you cry, dear mother, dear father.
Again, I always hear Dear Mother, Dear Father Earth.
Dear Father Earth.
Dear Mother, Dear Father Earth.
All right, thanks for listening to our Revisited number 5.
Peace!
Adios.
If you were our advisor, what would you say? Then I would say, delete that.